What is going on, guys? How are we all doing? Got another little hardware review for you all today, and it is the Aspire Dynamo 220 watt box mod. What we're going to do in today's review is we're going to go down to the table, we're going to do a little unboxing, and I'm going to show you the screens, the menu, how it all works, what you need to do to change things, change settings, etc, etc. Then we're going to come back up the top, and I'm going to go through a new 10-part rating system to clearly define what I think of the mod, whether it meets these criteria rather than going, yeah, that's like a 7 out of 10. It's actually going to be, all these points are going to make it whatever out of 10. So there's going to be more about that in a bit. Thank you very much for tuning in, and if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to the video. There should be a little button either on this side or a little on this side, just a little subscribe button. You'll know where it is, and if you haven't done it already, give that button a little smash, and then hit that bell notification to get up to date with all my latest news and reviews. Hope you all enjoy the video, guys, and I'll catch you all in a bit. See you in a bit. Bye. So welcome to the table camera section of the Aspire Dynamo 220 watt, a dual 18650, 2700 and 21700 mod. So on the front of the package you agree to Aspire Dynamo as you usually would, with a nice picture of the colour and the mod. This product contains nicotine, which is a highly addictive substance, normal TPD warnings that you would expect. On the side you have nada. On the back, if you want to read that, be my guest. And then on the bottom of it, you've got your not under the TPD warning. On the top, you've got, oh, get that in focus. On the top, you've got your batch number, your Dynamo mod in red, scratch and sniff, authenticity, and on the bottom, you've got Aspire. So, this just pops open just like that. And then usually with Aspire products, you are greeted with the Aspire logo in gold there, but you are not with this one. So, a nice little clamshell style box. Pop that open, you're greeted with a plethora of things like you normally would. You've got your Aspire warranty card. Pop that to one side. You've got a battery safety information booklet, which I will always give a thumbs up to everyone that uses one of these inside the products. You've got a really big beefy Aspire Dynamo user manual, and tells you everything you need to know about it there. And then of course you are greeted underneath all of that, you've got the Aspire Dynamo itself. Into a little box onto the right hand side of it, you've got, and in the box on the side you get a USB cable for firmware updating. Because you don't really want to use USB charging, because it doesn't charge your batteries balanced, and one of them has got to work harder to get to the other one. So, got the Aspire Dynamo mod here. On the top, we've got a centre mounted 510 with a nice big swirly kind of pattern on it, which is really nice. Spring loaded. On the back, on the side there, you've got some battery vetting, and you have also on this other side as well. You've got a big 2-inch OLED screen, and it's really bright. You've got a negative and a positive button to change your wattage and change through your settings. You've got a big clicky fire button on the side. On the back, you get a nice carbon fibre-esque sticker. Aspire on the top, Dynamo on the bottom, and then you've got a battery door. And inside there, you do get an 18650 adapter. The base of the battery insert, where you put your batteries, you've got a nice clearly marked negative and positive terminal, and on the top you get a nice clear positive and negative terminal. I myself would do that in white onto the black, just to make it stand out a little bit more, a little bit pink or something like that, just to make it all a little bit clear, and you do get an 18650 adapter. So this mod is 18650, 2700 and 21700 compatible. So I've got myself a set of 18650s because I don't actually own any 21 or 20, well, I own a single 21700, 2700, and don't own any 21700s. So they are on my Christmas list. So stick that in. You'd want to stick one of your batteries in positive down and one of them negative down. And to slide it in, just want to realign it. So obviously you've got your positive on the bottom there, negative on the top. So the way you want to do it is positive on one side, negative on the other. Slide it in and click that in. You've got a nice strong door there. greeted with 78 watts, well, whatever it is, I think it's 40 watts it starts at originally. And to get into the menu, it is power button and fire button. And that goes into the modes. You've got data, system, time, and about. So in the modes, click that, you've got wattage, voltage, bypass, TC and TCR, CPS, wattage, and back into wattage and voltage. And to go back onto the menu, to the previous menu, press down the plus or minus at the same time. Goes into the data, you've got the wattage preheat, you've got the TCR, the CPS, the lock resistance, the wattage preheat, and back to TCR. Got press that again. Onto system, vape time, screen time, watch time, brightness, language, main user interface settings, default. Go back again, and then the time set and watch user interface. So with the time set, you can obviously set the time of this, and then the watch UI just chooses a lot of different watches that you can pick. Go for this one, click that, go back, just give that a minute. And then you've got the watch there, just like that. So, that's pretty much everything about the mod. I'm going to come back up the top, we're going to have a little vape on it, and I'm going to tell you my pros and my cons and my final thoughts on the device itself. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you all soon. Welcome back up top, guys. So, I've got a new little rating system for all my mods that I'm reviewing at the moment. It's a 10-part system. This is still open to change, so I would appreciate a little bit of feedback and what you think on this list. So, in no particular order, it's just the order that came to me. I've got feel, like the actual feel of the device. I've got the performance, I've got the battery life, screen, the display, like the actual menu system and stuff like that. Multi-battery compatibility, the battery door, whether it's a decent battery door or not. And we've got instant response, center mounted 510, which for me is like, it's not important as such. Where's my coffee gone? It's not important as such, but like I do think that mod should mainly be center mounted 510s. Do you know what I mean? And then like most importantly, well not most importantly, but what puts the icing on the cake is, does it look good? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to say that's still open to change. Let us know what you think about it. Whether you think that list should be different, I will include that list into the description down below as well. So yeah, as you've just seen, I filled my tank up. As you've just seen, I've just done a little bit of an up close and personal with the Aspire Dynamo. Sorry about that, guys, just had a customer in. So I'll go through this little list and I'll tell you whether this device compares up to this little list, you know what I mean? So, number one, we've got the feel, like the actual feel of the device. Is it ergonomic, is it comfortable, is it easy to hold? Yeah, it's pretty ergonomic, to be honest. It's a big, bulky, massive device, but like I'm 6'6" and I've got massive hands, you know what I mean? So for me, it is pretty comfortable to hold. There is one little bit of a nitpicky con for me for this though. Like on this little bit raised bit here, especially if you're finger firing it, you've got your finger wrapped around, it is a little bit uncomfortable. I think that should be smoothing down. You can see the angle that it comes out on, how much raised it is. For me, if that was a little bit more smoothed down, it'd be ideal for me. But it's going to lose a point on that, so I can't give it a point for feel. The actual performance of the device, it's brilliant. I've ran this with mouth to lung tanks on it. I've ran it with my Nautilus 2. I've ran it with obviously my Valerian. I've ran it with a lot of little different drippers, put it through a lot of different paces. The performance on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. It reminds me quite a lot of the iJoy Captain, which was like, apart from maybe the DOVPO trigger, it's still my favourite mod ever. So it's getting a point for that. So there's one. Make a little note of that. One. So battery life, the battery life's not that great on this. Like, yes, I am only using 18650s in there, but still I should be getting a decent amount of battery life from it. I'm getting like 3.5 hours tops out of it. So it's not the greatest battery life, but it's not bad. As I said earlier on in the video, if I have now, I don't actually own any 2700s or 21700s. I own a single 2700 which I use in a mech, and it's the only 2700 that I use, well, that I own. I will get a couple more in and maybe put an update onto this and see whether the battery life vastly improves or not. But I'm using 30Qs, Samsung 30Qs in there, so it should have a decent battery life, but it just seems to drink the power a little bit too much for my liking. Well, it's getting half a point for that, half a point for the battery life, because obviously, yeah, I am using 18650s. Put a little half mark there. So the screen, the actual screen on this is really nice. It's got everything that you need to know, and it's got your amps, it's got your ohms, it's got your volts. What I would like to have seen on this is, instead of this being your battery readout, I would have liked the percentage or 2 individual battery bars, preferably. Because with this, it's a little bit, because like, if you look at that now, I've got 2/3 battery life. What is that in terms of volts? What is that in terms of anything? Like, I want to know what battery life I've got left, not like a third of a blue and a red bar, do you know what I mean? So, it's getting another half point for the screen. So it's getting like half a point for the screen, because like, I like the screen, but then I just want a little bit of battery percentage in it, you know what I mean? It's a weird little concept. Fair play to Aspire for like innovation. It's a little bit of a different kind of display to what you'd normally expect, but when it comes to batteries, keep it simple, man. Just give me 2 bars with 2 different percentages on it. At the very least, a 1 bar with a percentage on it, you know what I mean? So, the display, maybe display is not the right, but the menu settings, the menu display. So, to get into the menu with this, I went through it on the table camera section. Got to press the fire button and the up button at the same time. This, it's a little bit clip arty for me. Like, it's not great, do you know what I mean? It works, it's like everything's in there, it's all laid out, but the actual like background of it it's a little bit cheesy, it's a little bit cheap, but it works and it does its job, so it is getting a point because of that. It's nice and easy to navigate, it is simple, everything's where you need it to be in it, but because of that, that's my only nitpicky comment with that, but it's still a pro overall. Like, just the background, it just looks like it's made on clip art. But everything's there where you need it to be. Do you know what I mean? It's nice and easy to navigate. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Apart from obviously that, yeah. Multi-battery compatibility. So this mod is usable with 18650s using the adapter, 2700s and 21700s. So overall, yeah, it's multi-battery compatible. So it's getting a point for that. So we've got 4 out of 10 so far. Battery door. The actual battery door, it's nice and solid. It's got a little bit of wiggle room, but then tightens up when you've got that in, and there's no battery rattling this device whatsoever. There is a little bit if you do it up and down when you're using 18650s, because obviously the battery chamber is bored out for 21700s ideally, and using the adapter that Aspire supply for you with this kit, it's only half and it only covers half of the battery, well, 2/3, so like this top little bit's got a little bit of room, and every now and then it cuts out because it loses contact with the pins, but that's not a con, it's still, the battery door's solid. The only reason why that's a slight con is because I'm using the wrong batteries in it, so it's a user con, if that makes any sense. It's still a pro for the device. So let's get another back up on that. What's the response time like on an instantaneous response? Like the second I press this, yeah, my microphone's here. The second I press that button, it fires up straight away. So, it's getting a massive pro to that, because it's, as soon as you press a button, it does what it does. Even with getting through the menu and going back and unlocking the screen, locking the screen. Don't think I mentioned it before. You can lock the screen by just clicking it 3 times, and it goes into like stealth mode. 3 clicks to turn it back on, is it? 3 clicks to turn it back on, and to actually lock the device, it's 5 clicks. and then the actual new video's just being uploaded, and then you locked it there, 3, 4, 5, but whereas if you just go into stealth mode, it still fires. Centre mounted 510. For me, this is quite an important thing. It's always going to be a nitpicky kind of thing for a lot of people, but for me, all mods should be centre mounted in the 510. All the 510 should be centre mounted. It gives you excellent room to put whatever size atomizer you want on this and have the least possible chance of having an overhang on it. So it's getting a mark up on that, and I've just given a mark up for the instant response. And does it look good? That is always going to be subjective, but for me, that looks good. It looks like a good mod. It looks nice. It's classy. It's not full of LEDs, because that'll definitely get a big no-no from me, do you know what I mean? But it's not full of LEDs. It's nice and clear and simple in the display, minus the battery percentage. And to me, I think it looks fucking gorgeous. So it's getting a big fat pro from me for that. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 10 this mod's got. And my pros and cons are all listed inside that. As I said earlier on in this video, if you do prefer this way of me going through my mods with my reviews, I'll obviously come up with a different list of criteria for e-liquid and a different list of criteria for tanks and atomizers. If you've got any suggestions for me, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to incorporate it, because at the end of the day, guys, it's all you that are watching these videos. I'm giving my impressions and my thingy, but like, when it comes to you deciding whether you want to buy or not to buy a new piece of kit or a new e-liquid, these are the questions that you want to be asking. So let us know, and I'll try and incorporate as many of them as I can into my criteria. It's always going to be 10 points, so I can give it a rating out of 10. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Well, that's been a little bit of a closer look at the Aspire Dynamo, and for me, I really enjoy it. I've been using this for a week and a half, and to be honest, apart from a couple of like mechs, well, a mech that I've been using, it's been the only mod, it's been the only variable wattage mod that I've used in the last like week and a half. I really do enjoy using it. But in case you're wondering, I've been using the Ultimate Juices Sweet Apple inside this juice. It is a 70/30 and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I will probably be putting a review up on this in the next couple of days. So my name's Bobo. I run a shop in Liverpool called the VAPERY. I hope you enjoy our videos, and if you haven't seen any more of them, go back and check them all out. And don't forget, just there's going to be a little button just here, just underneath this bit here. Just hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell notification after it, and be up to date on all my latest news and my latest reviews. So, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all